Everyone was calling each other names. I didn't know what to do.
People picked on him for staying back a year, thinking that he was stupid and stuff.
I didn't think about how bad kids felt when I picked on them.
It's just how we treated each other.
She used to spread nasty rumors about me in homeroom.
They ignored me because they thought I was different.
I wouldn't eat lunch so no one would know that I got it for free.
And she knew my MySpace password on the computer and wrote, "I'm a whore."
Every night I'd be like crying.
They called me stupid, idiot, retard sometimes.
They just like sat there and like watched it happen and didn't do anything.
Sometimes I would look around for someone to help me out, and no one would be there.
Untold Stories shows the pain and misery that many young people suffer. It was created by a group of teens who want to help make a difference. But the movie only starts the conversation. All young people are essentially good. In healthy environments, there is respect, working and playing together, common goals and ideals, and youth feels safe and welcomed. In unhealthy environments, there is fear and distrust. Young people make unhealthy choices.
I don't know why I started that rumor about Jen. I guess it was just kind of to help out Caitlin. But that's not all of it. It made me feel better too. I guess it was thinking of crap happening to someone other than me for a change. I know it sounds pathetic, but it made me feel kind of good to be able to tell everyone at school something, even if it was just a lie. I know it was wrong, but I'm in it now, right?
Bullying and harassment can take many forms. Why are young people so mean to each other? Why is this so common?
Sometimes I think it's the result of their life experience. What is their life at home? How are they being treated? Do they come from an environment where others are hurting them, and that's considered the way one responds, the way one acts? Other times I think that young people do a lot of things for approval, and they think it might look cool to be somebody who's in charge, in control, and can make somebody else feel badly about themselves.
Our society gives young people a really limited way to have power. We really limit like how they can have power within their own social circles. And because of that, I think that's part of the reason that harassment happens, is that it's one way to have power, and it's power over a peer, but it's one way to have power.
As a student, I see things in the hallway like, you know, there are some kids being picked on, books being kind of knocked out of someone's hand. Maybe, you know, a group of kids will think it's a joke, but when they're grouping up to pick on this one person, because they sense they're vulnerable and they pick on those weaknesses that they have, they will go after someone, and they're relentless because it makes them feel powerful.
You don't wake up one day and become a bully. It's a result of learned behavior. It's a result of watching others.
In being mean to other kids, it makes them bigger and better than that other child, or it could be as simple as being insecure in their place.
There are victims, and there are those who victimize. A third group we call bystanders, those who watch bullying and harassment happen and do nothing, and they are by far the largest group.
Not even worth it, faggot.
The person like me just stands there, watches. We don't step in and do something about it. We just pretend we're not there, pretend we can't do anything. We really can. We're just not brave enough.
We talk about students being the group that can bring about change most quickly in their schools. One group that can play a critical role in that is what we call the bystanders. Not the people engaged in the conduct, not the people at the receiving end of the conduct, but rather that large majority of students that see it and for whatever reason choose to ignore it.
Even if someone witnesses this, you should really speak up, because sometimes the target won't always be the one who, they don't feel safe enough to come out and speak for themselves. They think, what if this person that's bullying me finds out I told on them, they get in trouble, what will they do to me?
Because you're giving permission, again, for that young boy or girl to engage in that behavior, that harassing or bullying behavior. And it was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. who said, it's not the voices of our enemies that we will remember, it's the silence of our friends.
One person standing up and saying something does more than 100 students who remain silent.
This devastating issue affects us all. Every day, we see violence and aggression in our very own communities. Victims, bystanders, bullies, parents, and schools are all impacted.
Our culture supports harassment, and so really whatever school you're talking about, the students in that school, the adults in that school are affected by our cultural context.
I think the media does a real disservice oftentimes to young people. One, they make it seem inevitable. They make it seem a rite of passage. And oftentimes they make it seem funny.
When Simon Cowell is cruel to people on American Idol, and he's paid a lot of money to do that, I think that sets a bad example.
How do we create a world where young people grow up in an environment where we are safe, valued, and respected?
I think that my daughter's experience in acting in general has given her an extreme amount of confidence. She has a very strong personality, and she doesn't feel the need to put other people down in order to make herself shine brightly.
The young person who is strong and sure in themselves is far less liable to be a victim, bully, or bystander to harassment.
Youth empowerment and self-esteem are an important thing to have in your life, to be empowered for yourself and have the self-confidence to say, I don't need to do this.
By empowering our young people, giving them the skills and giving them the freedom to make a difference, you are telling them that they control their destiny.
I definitely know different approaches to situations, and I know just what I can do to not attack the bully, but ask what they're doing, why they're doing it.
When you see a friend being targeted by a bully, if the bully is bigger than you physically or for some reason seems to have power, more power than you might have, it takes courage, but it's the right thing to do. And if a couple of people stand up, that behavior will stop.
And if you have the empowerment and the self-confidence within you to say, I don't need to do this, I'm fine. If people don't like me because they don't think I'm cool enough, that's their problem.
Schools and communities that support youth empowerment create safe and respectful environments through long-term, consistent, direct action.
Create an environment in the school that if you are feeling unsafe, physically or emotionally, the natural thing to do is to go speak to somebody. Speak to a member of a civil rights team, speak to a student you trust, speak to an adult in the building that you have a healthy, mutually respectful relationship with.
Each of us has the potential to be a hero. And it doesn't have to be some grandiose thing. It can be as simple as being willing to step up in the face of a bully and say, hey, it's not cool. What you're doing is not right.
We need to listen to them. We need to listen to what they're saying and hear what their experience is. And I guess not just listen to them with our own ideas of what their lives are like, but truly listen to what they're experiencing right now.
At home, parents and caretakers have to be involved. They need to communicate and create trust and openness.
The school culture, the community culture, and the family culture need to change. We need to focus more on respect, honesty, accountability. Accountability is a big one. And I think that bullying is getting worse over the years because of now all the electronics we have, like texting, Facebook, MySpace, any of that, even email, because you can say something without being face-to-face to someone.
The cyberbullying, the cyber world is so vast and so huge that I think parents really need to be aware of what their kids are saying and have their passwords and read the conversations that they're talking back and forth, whether the children like it or not. I think it's important that parents know what their kids are saying on the computer.
Imagine an environment which supports kind and respectful behavior, that honors diversity of race, religion, sexual orientation, and simply each other's way of being, where young people have the opportunity to thrive, to explore their gifts in new and unique ways, where we have a voice and know that we are supported in speaking about issues that concern us.